Our top focus this morning is on Russian President Vladimir Putin's one-day visit to India. He's going to be attending the 21st India-Russia Annual Summit along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, this annual summit couldn't take place in 2020 due to the COVID pandemic, and it's going to be the first face-to-face meeting between the two leaders after the BRICS summit, which had happened in November 2019. Russian President Putin would be gifting the S-400 air defense system model to Prime Minister Modi. There will be, of course, a number of deals that will be inked. The most crucial of those is for the manufacturing of 7.5 lakh AK-203 assault rifles for the Indian Army under the Make in India initiative. Under this deal, both countries will jointly manufacture AK-203 assault rifles in Uttar Pradesh's Amethi. The two leaders will also be discussing regional, multilateral, international issues of mutual interest, of course. This annual summit will be preceded by meetings between Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and his Russian counterpart Sergei Shoigu. Now, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will also be having a meeting with his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. Bilateral cooperation, connectivity, regional security concerns, the situation in Afghanistan, all of that will be discussed.
This is not an ordinary relationship. This is a relationship of a especially privileged strategic partnership, which envisages a unique level of confidence and mutual understanding. Thus, sometimes the leaders would touch upon very sensitive issues exclusively meant for such kind of relationship. That's why this is not an ordinary summit. It's a historical summit when one could expect a new impetus coming into the bilateral ties.
So the big headline is, of course, going to be the inking of the deal for the AK-203 assault rifles and the manufacture of the same. India today was the only channel which had visited the AK-203 factory in Moscow in Russia back in 2019. Here's our mega exclusive report by our executive editor Shivarur from Moscow.
The basic minimum when it comes to the army in the field. This is the weapon he depends on. You are probably familiar with the AK-47, perhaps the most recognized assault rifle in the world. Variants of the legendary Kalashnikov rifle have been a mainstay for decades in the Indian Army. The other weapon that has been widespread but problematic use is the infantry's small arms system, or INSAS, recognizable by its signature orange stock and grip sections. But the truth is bitter one. For decades now, the army has not managed to induct a fully satisfactory assault rifle in large numbers. Comfortable that it has chosen a solid, no-nonsense firearm for its frontline troops. But if the INSAS and AK-47s are to bow out, what replaces them? And more importantly, when? The weapon that will be adopted in the largest numbers is this one, called AK-203, which is in fact a derivative of the old AK-47 itself. Much more modern and fine-tuned for updated combat. Nearly 7 lakh of these are to be built in UP's Amethi district as part of a joint venture between Russia's Kalashnikov and India's Ordnance Factory Board. The Indian Army chief has signalled that after years in suspense, the India-Russia deal is all set to be signed very soon.
All-round development has taken place. We have signed a number of contracts in the last year. And these range from weapons and protective gear for the infantry, to the mechanized forces, to fire support elements, long-range vectors, engineer stores and equipment, communication equipment.
Now, what the Indian Army wants is for this particular weapon, a pretty worthy successor of the old AK-47 to become a standard assault rifle infantry weapon for the infantry units of the Indian Army. One of the special things about this weapon, we're told, is that it has a special capability. Barrel, it has retrospective compatibility with many of the systems, including the magazines and ammunition of the old AK-47s. Remember, India's Rashtriya Rifles units and infantry regiments are one of the largest users in the world of the Kalashnikov series of rifles.
The legendary AK-47 will give way to its newest avatar. It is likely that the first new rifles will begin entering service next year. India's soldiers deserve the most reliable weapons, and the AK-203, which is to be manufactured in huge numbers, should meet all combat requirements in the field. Bureau Report, India Today.
This Monday morning, let's get you all the latest updates on the Omicron scare. It looms large in India. Over the weekend, a number of states have reported cases of this variant, which means that the total number of cases in India has gone up to 21. Rajasthan has the highest number of Omicron cases at 9. These cases were confirmed after reports of 9 patients came back from genome sequencing. The State Health Department has isolated people who came in contact with infected patients in Maharashtra. 8 cases have been confirmed so far in Maharashtra, 1 in Kalyan near Mumbai, 1 in Pune and 6 in Pimpri Chinchwad. Now, a 44-year-old woman who arrived in Mumbai from Lagos in Nigeria tested positive, along with 5 members of her family, of which 2 are children. Samples of 5,000 passengers who arrived in the city have been sent for testing. 40 people, meanwhile, tested COVID positive at a residential school. This is in Karnataka's Chikmagaluru. Students and teachers have tested positive. Over 400 children have been tested so far.
महाराष्ट्रात आज एकूण 8 ओमिक्रॉन रुग्ण आढळलेले आहेत. यामध्ये मुंबई म्हणजेच ठाणे परिसरातला 1, पुण्यातील 1 आणि PCMC म्हणजे पिंपरी चिंचवड महानगरपालिकेमध्ये एकूण 6 अशी ही 8ची गोळाबेरीज आहे. लक्षात घेतलं पाहिजे की याचं मूळ कारण हे देखील आहे की जे लोक आज बाधित झालेले ते सर्वच्या सर्व डबल वॅक्सिनेटेड आहेत. कदाचित त्याचा देखील एक चांगला हा परिणाम आपल्याला पाहायला मिळतो. जे 18 वर्षाची लहान मुलं 2 बाधित झालेले असतील त्यांना मात्र वॅक्सिनेट झालेले नव्हते.
Big Omicron scare across India, with the mutant now surfacing in the national capital Delhi. Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain confirmed the first case of the Omicron variant of the coronavirus in Delhi. The patient, who returned from Tanzania, has been admitted to the special Omicron ward at the LNJP hospital in Delhi.
प्रीलिमिनरी रिपोर्ट के अंदर वो पॉजिटिव हैं ओमिक्रॉन से. फिर भी जो लैब से फाइनल रिपोर्ट इशू की जाएगी वो कल की जाएगी. सिम्टम जितने ज़्यादा होंगे उसी हिसाब से इलाज किया जाता है. ऑक्सीजन की थेरेपी है, स्टेरॉइड्स हैं, दवाइयाँ देनी है, वो सब कुछ सेम है. उसमें कोई ट्रीटमेंट प्रोटोकॉल में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं होता है. बट हाँ, उसको आइसोलेट करने की जरूरत होती है. आइसोलेट किया गया है.
The patient has mild symptoms, including fever, which has now subsided, but he still has a sore throat and is under constant observation of the doctors.
ये एक पेशेंट ऐसा है जिसके हल्का गले में दर्द है और शुरू में हल्का बुखार था, तो उसके लिए हमने सिम्टोमेटिक ट्रीटमेंट दिया है. बॉडी एक है, थोड़ा हल्का बदन में दर्द है और थोड़ा वीकनेस है. और सबसे जो महत्वपूर्ण बात है ये है कि इनको रेस्पिरेटरी सिम्टम्स नहीं है, कफ नहीं है, खांसी नहीं है, रेस्पिरेटरी.
Screening has been intensified at the Mumbai International Airport after a South Africa returnee was detected with the Omicron variant on Saturday. The 33-year-old patient is a resident of Dombivli and is unvaccinated.
1 नवंबर से अभी तक जो इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट पे जो ट्रैवल किए हुए लोग हैं उन सभी की जांच की गई है और करीबन 3,800 लोगों की जांच की गई है, जिसमें सभी लोगों की जांच करते हुए 6 लोग पॉजिटिव आए हैं, लेकिन वो ओमाइक्रॉन पॉजिटिव है ऐसा सिद्ध नहीं हुआ है।
Very importantly, there were 25 people along with this particular person who travelled from Delhi to Mumbai. All were traced out and all were found tested negative for COVID-19. More contact tracing is being done by the officials.
The civic body of Karnataka tracked down all the 10 people who arrived in the state from South Africa on November 20th and subsequently went missing.
ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲಾಗಿದೆ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ.
As of now, the Chief Minister has stated that any area that has 3 or more COVID cases will now be declared as a cluster. Initially, it was 10 cases to be declared as a cluster. They have revised that.
The government at the centre has cautioned, asking states to focus on testing, tracking, treatment, screen international travellers and monitor emerging hotspots. Experts caution an impending third wave if the virus fight falters.
अभी का आकलन ये बताता है कि अगले साल के शुरू में अपने उच्चतम स्तर पे इसकी संख्या शायद 1 लाख से 1.5 लाख के बीच में जा सकती है। लेकिन जो मेरा अंदाज है कि जैसे जैसे संख्या बढ़ेगी, थोड़ा बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्शन हर जगह लगने लगेंगे, तो शायद पीक उतना भी ना पहुंच पाए, 1 लाख भी ना पहुंच पाए, उससे कम ही रह जाए।
Vaccinating and using masks still remain critical for India as it is no time to let the guard down. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, amid the Omicron cases spiking across states, the National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization will be holding a meet at 11 this morning to discuss the possibilities of an additional dose of the COVID vaccine for immunocompromised individuals, essentially a booster dose. The vaccine panel officials have termed it as an additional dose. They're not calling it a booster dose. The additional shot of vaccine is given to immunocompromised individuals when already administered vaccination doses do not provide adequate protection against the virus. So for cancer patients, transplant patients, AIDS patients, among others, fall in this category. Earlier, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia had said that vaccine panels were deliberating and considering scientific evidence on booster shots. As Omicron is targeting children in South Africa, the vaccine panel is also likely to discuss vaccination for children in the country. Now, actor Jacqueline Fernandez has been stopped from going abroad after the Enforcement Directorate issued a lookout notice. Sources have told India Today that she was stopped at the Mumbai airport while boarding her flight. The actor was stopped on the basis of the ED lookout notice that was issued against her in the 200 crore rupees con scandal. She was later allowed to leave the airport on the condition that she would face ED grilling in Delhi whenever summons are issued to her. Jacqueline has been named in the ED charge sheet for her link to conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar. Sources have also told India Today that Sukesh sent gifts worth over 10 crore rupees to the actor, all this while he was in jail. The conman also booked a chartered flight for Jacqueline Fernandez from Mumbai to Chennai when he was out on bail. Let's move on also to another story we're tracking very closely. The state of Nagaland continuing to simmer after 15 people, including one security personnel, were killed in a firing incident in Mon district of Nagaland. An angry mob vandalized an Assam Rifles camp and the office of the Konyak Union on Sunday. The mob, comprising of approximately 500 youth, entered the security forces camp. They burnt properties, physically attacked troops as well. Now, these troops allegedly fired to disperse the angry crowd, resulting in injuries to a few civilians. 2 security personnel have also been injured in these clashes. Protesters were seen observing a candlelight vigil at the DC Court Junction in Dimapur on Sunday in solidarity with those killed in the firing incident. Section 144 has been imposed in the district. Mobile internet has been suspended. This incident is in fact going to be raised in the parliament today.
It all started when security forces planned a special operation against insurgents in Nagaland's Mon. After specific intelligence inputs about movements of insurgents, they stopped a group of people from Otting village returning home from a local coal mine. suspecting they were terrorists, and according to reports, opening fire. 6 people driving in a mini truck died on the spot. A local search party of villagers, which came looking, went berserk after discovering the bodies. Sources reveal that angry villagers then surrounded the forces in protest and set their vehicles on fire, forcing the Assam Rifles troop to retaliate, resulting in more casualties. 1 Assam Rifles personnel died in the attack, and many other security personnel were injured. Assam Rifles issued a statement after the incident and regretted the aftermath of the operation, which it said was aimed at tracking insurgents. It also initiated a high-level probe and promised to take appropriate action as per law. Nagaland CM Neiphiu Rio ordered an SIT probe into the incident and promised justice.
That operation was carried out based on introduced army claims, not by Assam Rifles, but by one para unit of army.
That's right. Okay. And this is a counter-insurgency operation. So the team came into Nagaland and then, based on some intelligence inputs as being stated in the statement.
Yeah, based on some intelligence that there is a movement of underground cadre, reportedly by NST and YEA.
Home Minister Amit Shah also tweeted over the incident, promising justice and expressed grief. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi hit out at the government and called the incident heart-wrenching. Rajya Sabha MP from Nagaland, KG Kenye, promised to take the fight for justice to Parliament.
Oh, it's shocking. Highly condemnable.
So one question that I want to know, by any chance, will you be raising this in the Parliament tomorrow?
Certainly. I will seek permission from the chairman in the 0 hours.
The famous Hornbill Fest in Kohima has been stopped after the incident. With Indrajit Kundu, Bureau Report, India Today.
Welcome back. Team India are on the verge of a series victory against World Test champions New Zealand. Virat Kohli's men will be hoping that they can wrap up the game and the series early on day 4 after yet another day of domination in Mumbai. Check out how India's inched closer to victory on the 3rd day of the Wankhede Test.
It'll be interesting what India do.
5 wickets. 5 wickets are all that separate India from a series victory against world's top-ranked side, New Zealand. Day 3 proved to be yet another day that saw India dominate the proceedings. Overnight batsmen Mayank Agarwal and Cheteshwar Pujara recorded a 100-run stand to put the Kiwis under even more pressure.
I wonder if that's the reason he's playing these shots. It's up in the air.
Agarwal departed after adding another half-century to his 150 from the first innings, with Ejaz Patel once again among the wickets. Cheteshwar Pujara also perished soon after, missing out on a 50 by 3 runs. Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli then got together for an 82-run partnership. While Gill and Kohli took their time early on, their post-lunch display of fireworks helped India extend their massive lead past 450.
And executed well. Gets a 4, Shubman Gill.
Gill departed for a well-made 47.
Deep in his crease.
While captain Virat Kohli chopped one on back onto the stumps for 36.
He cannot believe it, Kohli. Oh, he's down.
Even as India were losing wickets, every batsman walking out had only one mission. And that was to score as many and as quickly as possible.
The charge is on.
Iyer, Saha all smacked 4s and 6s before Akshar Patel played a swashbuckling cameo.
Gets plenty of that.
In 26 balls, Akshar smashed 41 runs, a knock that included 4 6s and 3 4s.
Straight down the ground for 6.
straight back to...
India eventually declared at 276 for 7, setting the Kiwis a mammoth target of 540. New Zealand once again didn't get off to a good start, losing captain Tom Latham before the tea interval.
A discussion with Will Young.
While Darry Mitchell held one end up, Ashwin managed to snuffle Will Young and Ross Taylor in quick succession.
Taylor's short stay comes to a briefing.
Mitchell got to his 50 but lost his composure while trying to hit one shot too many.
So it's worked. 6.
Tom Blundell too didn't last long, running himself out while trying to take a non-existent run. The visitors ended the day at 140 for 5, and 2 days left. An Indian victory is the only result possible now. The only question is how long the Black Caps can delay the inevitable. Sports Bureau, India Today.
And you can catch all the latest sports news and much more on our website, indiatoday.in. Do also download the India Today app. That's it from me on First Up. Thank you for watching and have a great day ahead.